Hi, this is Aubrey Stewart, and you're listening to Rise of the Phoenix, the stories behind the band Providence and the release of the album Phoenix. Today I'll be discussing the track The Day You Came My Way from the Phoenix album, but first I want to share with you some technical details on how we recorded the album, as there's been some interest in how it was done. The album was mixed and produced at Path of Least Resistance, my digital home studio in Grapevine, Texas. I worked with live demos of the songs from previous writing sessions to reconstruct the songs in the studio. I would first recreate the drum track of the song using the MIDI grid editor in TuneTrack's Superior Drummer 3. Superior Drummer 3 is a very powerful drum digital audio workstation with a complex and extensive sound library of drum samples, which are recorded at Galaxy Studios in Belgium by award-winning engineer George Massenberg. It's an amazing tool with just a massive array of features that gives you total control over wonderful-sounding drum kits. So once the drum performance was converted to MIDI, I would import the MIDI file into Steinberg's Cubase 10. The MIDI file could then be associated with Superior Drummer 3 within Cubase, and I could assign the desired drum kit of samples to the MIDI performance. Using Steinberg's URRT2 audio interface, I would then set about recording the rhythm guitar tracks for the song using a Marshall JVM 205C and my Ibanez Paul Gilbert Fireman guitar. Bass player Scott Russell would typically lay down his bass tracks at his own rehearsal facility on his Spectre 5-string bass through a Mesa 888 amp, and he'd send those tracks to me for import into the Cubase project. Guitarist Dave Shepard would then record his lead guitar tracks at my studio using the Marshall, his Les Paul, as well as an array of other guitars that he owns. Then I would lay down all the main vocal tracks as well as the backing and harmony vocals. It's at this point that percussionist Mark Hantz would create the actual drum performance that would be used for the song. Mark was not involved in the original songwriting sessions, but he is an excellent drummer, and we are so excited to have him on the album as well as when the band performs live. Mark would familiarize himself with the track and then add his own flair in true Mark Hantz style. His performance would be captured on a Roland electronic kit, and the MIDI data would then be overlaid onto the track. Drums recorded last was an unorthodox methodology, but Mark was able to pull it off, and the performances speak for themselves. In fact, I'm currently mixing and producing the new Ultra K album, of which Mark is a member, and the drum performance is being captured first in the more traditional manner along with bass and guitar, and has a very live feel, so keep your eye out for that release. Finally, the songs are mixed down from Cubase and mastered using Isotope's Ozone 8. I used Photoshop for the album artwork, with props to Adobe signs and t-shirts in San Angelo, Texas for the Phoenix, which is featured on the inside cover. CD Baby coordinated the release and distribution of the album, as well as the physical media. But let's get back to The Day You Came My Way. The Day You Came My Way is probably the most accessible track on Phoenix and was literally written in about 30 minutes. We were warming up prior to a rehearsal, and I was jamming on a new riff with drummer Darren Davis, and the song took shape very quickly. Bass player Scott Russell had been setting up the recording session we'd use for the rehearsal, and quickly jumped on the bass after hitting the record button. It was about this time that guitarist Dave Shepard arrived, and upon hearing the tune, he stepped up to the keyboard, selected a very retro-sounding sample, and the rest is history. The love song describes a fortuitous meeting with a beautiful young lady, Celeste, who would soon become my wife. I'm a lucky man indeed, and every day I thank the Lord for the day she came my way. Alright, no one can hurt you when you're by my side. Oh no, not today. I thank the Lord the day you came my way. We hope you enjoy The Day You Came My Way and the entire Phoenix album, available on iTunes, Amazon Music, and streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, and Pandora. Also, check out our website at www.providencetheband.com for the CD and other Providence merchandise. But before we go, we're living in some crazy times right now. Social distancing and shelter in place have suddenly been thrust upon us all and can be worrying and downright scary. Rock and rollers have a reputation for risky behavior and a dislike for authority. Now's not the time for that kind of thinking. It can get you killed, man. Stay home, wash your hands often, care for those you love. We'll get through this. So listen to a lot of music, stay safe, and we'll see you on the other side when we can all get together again and share the love of music. And that's it. Look for future editions of Rise of the Phoenix, where we'll spotlight different songs from the album. Thanks for listening, and rock on.